I'll get it.
This is all for me. You speak so.
You get the whole sofa.
I love it.
Space for your hat.
I love it.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Belgium.
Thank you. I love you, Brussels.
Look at this crowd. Do you get this everywhere?
Most of the time.
Unbelievable. Turns out being a villain pays. Yeah?
It does. I love people, and oftentimes many people don't get a chance to see me as me, so they approach me a certain way as the villain they see on TV. And so it's nice. I mean, I can be that guy, but I like to be myself. So many people come through my line and they say, insult me. You know, they want me to say, you are done, finished. You know, and I kind of like doing that, but I much rather show a part of me that you haven't seen.
And we're very appreciative to see that part of you. Because,
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's incredible. Like, you have had such an incredible career, like already, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. But I mean, like, I know you back from doing things with Spike Lee, like those days.
Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, School Days.
Absolutely incredible. And like, obviously, fandom, you've got so many like feathers you can cap for different fandoms. What is it? The Boys, you've got obviously Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, a little franchise known as Star Wars, which is just the best fan base.
And one of my favorite cameos, which was in Community.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. Such an odd show for me to be on, but it was fun to do. You know, look, I feel as if the reason we come into our own as human beings is because we enjoy more of what we do. And for me, I've been acting for 55 years, approximately, and I'm loving what I do, so it makes it easier for me to do it. And the other part of what I realize is my success, and why so many people know me, is because I do so many different kinds of shows. And so I've been blessed to have enthusiasm for what I do, but also a talent for playing a lot of different kinds of characters.
Yeah, but you started, how old were you when you started acting?
I was 8 years old when I started on the Broadway stage in New York.
Oh wow, because, am I right in, I read that you were born in Denmark, is that right?
I was born in Copenhagen, Denmark.
And then you moved...
Yeah, baby! Take me home! Take me with you!
Best reaction ever when it's one guy, it's great.
They're just throwing Lego on the stage.
So,
Love that.
did you pretty much as soon as you got to America, that was, you almost instantly fell in love with acting? How did that start?
Well, my mother was an opera singer, and so she was always on the stage in the Opera House in Milan, at the Hamburg Staatsoper in Germany, and also did a supper club act with Josephine Baker, a great French singer from America who's an expatriate. So I was always observing her. My career started because I loved the mystical quality of the theater. I loved to enter from beyond the curtain. I loved to be someone that I wasn't, because when I went to America, I wasn't accepted. My name is Giancarlo Giuseppe Alessandro Esposito. So I'm very Italian. I mean, as you can tell, you know. So, but people don't really know that about me. And so I wanted to find myself. And so in being in the theater and being on stage as a musical comedy artist, I felt at home, I felt comfortable. And that's what led me into acting. It was also that we were struggling for money. I wanted to help my mother, who was divorced from my father at that time, raise money and be able to pay the rent. And I wanted to live better. So because I had talent and enjoyed it, I went that route.
Oh wow, but I mean, like I say, because you started at such a young age, did you find getting into acting was quite easy as you got older, or was it still that classic, you struggled at first and then you found your feet?
I struggled at first because there was no place to put me.
Yeah.
And because after a few years in America, I mean, I grew up speaking some Italian, and some German. And after I found my voice, I had to lose any accent that I had, and I started to be a New Yorker. And so I had to speak differently. And then I realized that back in the 50s and 60s, African Americans didn't have the same opportunities because we weren't looked at on the same level. So then I had to take away my brain. I had to dumb down my intelligence to get work. I had to be a street thug, a killer. You know, I had to become a villain.
Yeah.
And I do that well.
You do that incredibly well.
Which is funny because I would find that a lot of your characters, especially more recently, like there is something so intelligent and wise about them. Yes, bad, but like really highly intelligent characters. Have you found that those roles have slightly changed over the years?
Oh, absolutely. The business has changed. I've gone through many waves of unconventional casting now. But what I realized, and it's something that my mother instilled in me, was to never give up my dignity. And she would say things like, no one can take away what's in between your ears. And that's this. So I always held on to that. I love art, I love literature, I'm a big reader, and I love how it pertains to our ordinary lives. And so I play characters that are complete, and if I leave something out, then they're not complete. And we're all complete human beings. It's how we see ourselves. Do we see ourselves through someone else's eyes? Like I could see myself through the eyes of all of my fans, and I'd be walking around with a different feeling. But I see myself as someone who's learned to love himself and understand who he is, and therefore I get more comfortable in my own skin. When I was young, I would see old people who would be crotchety, and I'd ask them a question for directions, and they'd look at me again, like, oh, it's over there, it's over there, it's over there. They didn't care what you thought of them. Now, as a human being and an actor, I care about what people think of me. And so there's a balance to that. Like, we should care about how we're perceived, but how do we perceive ourselves? And it goes to thinking about what you can do in your life. I think now that I can do anything. I project it, I invite it, I suggest it. I do things every day to obtain my deepest wishes. I've always wanted to fly a plane. I fly planes now. I'm taking lessons, not on my own, but I went, nothing is out of your grasp. If you think it, you can do it. If you feel it, you can allow it to happen. It's inviting it and drawing it to yourself.
I think that deserves a round of applause.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So inspirational. Thank you.
Absolutely incredible. Also, I want to get on a plane with you. I would love to see you fly a plane.
I'm obsessed with flying, and I've gotten a few lessons, and I really like it, and I know I'm going to pursue it when I've lived near 2 airports, and
Convenient.
yeah, and Vince Gilligan flies a helicopter, and he's going to give me a helicopter lesson, which is completely different than flying.
Yeah.
But another great example is I've always wanted a Porsche motorcycle. So, I mean a Porsche car. And I have 8 motorcycles, and I can only ride 1. So all of a sudden I realized, sell them all! Sell them! Why do you have these sitting in your garage? You want a Porsche. Sell them, get the Porsche that you want. You gotta let go of something to get something. You gotta let go of your old kind of thinking to move forward in life. You gotta let go of all the things that you've held on to that you say, they didn't let me do this, they held me back, I can't. All the things that my father told me, all these things, you can't do it, Giancarlo, you can't do it. You can't. Why can't I do it? I can do anything, and you can do anything. It's the truth.
It's such, again, it's such an incredible attitude. Is this something that's come to you with time, or is this something you always feel you've had in you?
It's come to me with time. You know, I faced a lot of adversity that people don't know about in my own life with my own self. And so what I start to realize is that I'm in the way. I am the they that I talk about, because I haven't opened up my consciousness to think that I can do anything, right? I've kept myself small. And I was told by an acting teacher, there are no small parts. There's only small actors. So I think of it in a human way. There's nothing you can't do. In other words, if you think that you can't, you won't. So now I say this every single day. I am, I will, I can. It's that simple. We've complicated our lives with the phone, with getting our information from some other place, right? We don't take the time to imbibe things because I don't need to remember because, oh, where's my phone? Oh, shoot. Now I leave my phone everywhere because I don't care, right? But that's our source of information. But what about the source of information that's inside you? When do you stop and take your own temperature? You wake up, you put your feet on the floor and you go, oh, how am I doing today? I'm doing well. How am I doing today? Oh, I'm in a bad mood. How do I fix it? I breathe. I take my own temperature, right? When do we do that anymore? Everything you need to know is inside of you. Everything you want, every desire, every dream, every wish, and it is up to you. My dreams aren't going to be realized by him. He's got his own dreams to realize. My dreams aren't going to be forwarded by her. She's got her own. Take responsibility and allow it to happen. Now people tell me, oh, easy for you to say you're successful. But guess what? I wasn't always successful. I've been bankrupt twice. I've been down on my butt at least 5 times. I've almost quit the business 3, 4, 5, 6 times. People have told me you're never gonna make it. People told me, I have 4 daughters, I'm divorced. They tell me, oh, you have 2, your family's too big. You're never gonna get over your bankruptcy. I borrowed money from all these people and guess what? I paid every one of them back. I am, I will, I can.
I've actually got to ask, because I think a lot of people probably relate, especially to the idea of being at the bottom sometimes. Are there is there anything that you would say to people? Was there anything you did when you were at your lowest that really helped? I mean, it sounds like this sort of stuff is great. Is there anything else that you would advise?
This wasn't always here. When I was really down, I was losing a house in Connecticut. Like my story. I could hold on, my story, his story, her story. We all have the story. The story that's weighing us down and not allowing us to soar and fly. So what did I think about when I was totally down? I wanted to kill myself. I mean, it was that bad. And I thought, wait a minute, what's the flip side? The flip side is I really love life. And we think that life is about money or success. Life is about this. This is life, man. Right? I mean, that's really what we have. Right? I mean, and I love what I do, so I didn't want to go out of the world because any moment that I could be in front of the camera or be on stage or make someone feel something, move people from one place to another because of the work I did, right? So I had to get over me. So an actor, my life is all about me. It's the mirror, it's me, I'm so good, I'm blah, 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 blah. Now I'm over myself, right? So I can really be me. I'm not afraid, like I could walk through the curtain and be the guy that you thought I might be, right? And so people tell me, I'm very disappointed. Why? Because you're not Gus at all. I said, I could be Gus in a heartbeat, right? But you know what I mean? So it takes time. So when I was really down, I thought, what do I love the most, even about this strife? It's that I still maintain a part of me and that there's hope. If you've never faced adversity, if you've never been down, you can't appreciate the rise. You can't appreciate getting what you want. And I'm really thankful for my mom. My mom's passed away, my dad's passed away, but my mother told me and taught me in a way that to earn everything you get. Like if I wanted to be a star when I was 20, I knew I was that good. I believed in myself, but no one else knew. No one else knew who I was. No one else believed. So then you have to show it and prove it. And your job as human beings is to share your idea and then share it with her and him and convince them. You gotta be a salesman. This is the next great thing. Raise the money, raise consciousness, and get people to do for you what you need to be done. And in turn, you do for them what they need to get done. And that's how the world changes. We're so screwed up right now because everyone's about I and me, and they're not so much about we and us. This is what it's about. I don't care how much money you have. Are you going to be happy alone in your mansion without anyone else to share your ideas, your creativity, your love, your compassion? You won't be. You might think you will be, but you won't be. Right? I don't think I have a penny in my pocket. I got a piece of Nicorette. Nothing. What do I need? What do you need money for? Yeah, you need to live. Yeah, you need to pay your rent. All of those things. But it's like, if we face our own fear about who we are, where we're going, how we're going to get there, and we allow it to ease somehow, then your future is unimaginable.
I mean, yeah. If
I'll calm down.
if acting doesn't work out for you, I think you might have a career in motivational speaking.
Or politics.
Or politics, yeah.
I'd vote for you.
Thank you.
I think we're going to have to open the floor up for questions, otherwise.
Yeah, although
Wait.
it does feel somewhat, to now say, have you ever taken anything from the set? It's
Yeah,
a little bit,
yeah.
not quite as grand. I've been enjoying this so far.
Yeah, I mean, I would just sit here all day and listen to you. I'm having a great time. But yeah, we do want to let you guys ask some questions. So Thomas has got the microphone. If you get your hand up, we will let you do it for you. Thomas will come through. Also, just at this point, whilst we have a little break, if I could borrow some money, I'm very inspired right now, actually.
Yes, I'll give it to you. What do you need, baby?
£7 million and no questions.
Okay, you got it.
Oh, and some Nicorette gum.
I got that.
Yeah, we got our first question down here.
Hi, welcome to Belgium, first of all. It's really inspiring to see you on the screen. My first question was, you seem like a very positive person, and you're known for playing a lot of villainous roles. If there is one heroic character that you could give your own interpretation to, which one would it be, and why would you choose that character?
I grew up with some old comic books, and I lived my early life saving people in a way before I became a villain. I've always wanted to be the person who, in a way, shed some light on the darkness. I grew up watching Flash Gordon, which is, I just thought, wow, what a great show. The guy can fly and do all these great things. Flash Gordon, Mary Poppins, and Superman. Because I feel like I know for me, I need to look at heroes and be uplifted. So, in my brain, I want to be Moff Gideon, but I want to be Moff Gideon on the good side. I think that I'll get an opportunity possibly to play someone good, maybe if it comes about. I have marked the Marvel universe, that there may be something there where I can be on the A-team. It would be great.
I think you will and you can.
Yeah, how about that?
Put it
Yes!
out there.
Yes!
Amazing. Hands up for questions. I'll get one here, Thomas. But again, if you've got them, put them up. Don't worry.
Hello, and thank you for coming to Belgium. I was wondering how you ended up getting the role of Moff Gideon and how you approached playing the character.
So I got a call. I worked with Jon Favreau on a pilot called Revolution, and I really liked his direction. J.J. Abrams and Eric Kripke combined to make that show. Eric writes the show I do called The Boys. And so I met John, and I did that show, and then he asked me to do a commercial with him. and which led to our conversation about Mowgli, which led to Jungle Book. So, and you'll get the through line of this because I bring it back to how it works. I want to work with people that I really like, and I put that out there, and it started to happen. So John called me, literally called me on the phone. He said, I have good news, I have bad news. What do you want first? I said, I always want the good news first. I wrote a role for you in Mandalorian. I said, what's that? He said, Star Wars? I said, oh, you got my attention. And he said, I said, okay, so what's the bad news? And he said, we don't have any money. I said, what are you talking about, John? It's Disney. You got a lot. I said, we have money. It's all going into the volume. And I said, okay. And I said, so it's hard to say no when someone says, I wrote a role for you. You can't say no. I said, I'm really intrigued and I'm excited. He said, is there anything you want? And I said, yes. Ask for what you want in life. Don't be afraid that you're not gonna get it. Be more in fear that you will. Because when they say yes, you've got to rise to the occasion. I said, I want a cape. He said, done. That's easy, my friend. And that's how I got it. And so in doing the role, I started to really feel, so I'm really good at controlling the chaos. You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. Do it now. And people do it. And so one of the things that I think about when I play Moff Gideon is I walk into a room and I silence it. But first you have to take the temperature of the room. You gotta know if people are with you or not. If they're not, you wait until they are. And then you speak. And you speak to everyone as if you're looking at everyone right in their eye. You're making a connection. And this is what life is. So I walk into a room with all these stormtroopers who are standing there and you can't see their eyes. But I address all of them. And they know it because we are energy. We're electrical beings. We're light energy. We're stuck in a physical body that's heavy and it's hard. I'm worried about my fat. I'm worried I can't hold my head on my shoulders the right way. I'm worried about the ache in my back from swimming for an hour this morning. But if you let all that go and realize that you're not the body, that you are energy, then your life changes. Not to say that you can control all of that energy, but you certainly can control your own. So what I do with Moff Gideon is I allow him to be strong, to have a vision for the world, for humanity, and to be able, and a guy like that makes 15 of himself. I want 15 of me too. Right, so that's what I do. You're welcome.
Incredible. We've got a few questions here and then we'll swing over, yeah. We just need the microphone up if that's possible.
Your most important roles are villain, and maybe your most important role is Gustavo Fring, or at least is my favorite one. Do you have a special connection with the character? Maybe it doesn't mean something special. And there was a sense of nostalgia to bring it back with Better Call Saul after the end of the show. Does it mean anything special?
What is your name?
Marco.
Marco, piacere, Marco.
Do you understand me if speak Italy?
From Italy?
Yeah.
Yes, I thought so. Yes, I mean, what comes to my mind and my spirit is Gustavo Fring changed my life because what I realized after being an actor for so long, and as a human being, we try hard. I'm a AAA personality, a people pleaser, want to make people happy and feel comfortable. With Gustavo Fring, I realized that the writing was top-notch, that the filming was top-notch, and there were little things that I could not, everything was out of my control. Right in our lives, I'm a person who wants to control things. right? But life in itself is not in my control. But what I could control was my pace and my breath. I could get calm. I could see any situation. I could allow myself time to think. Think not only about what I will do, but think about what your next move is and what your next move is. I allowed myself to breathe. And so I connected with my yoga practice because it allowed me to close my eyes but still see all of you. To close my eyes and see behind me. I went to military school and almost went into the military. And what will save your life, even on the streets of Brussels or New York or Paris, is your hypervigilance. Not to say that that's good, but I'm a hypervigilant person. So I'm looking at you, but I can see where every exit is. I walk into a room, I know how to get out. That's survival. So Gustavo, when I created him, I connected to his presence. There's a presence that some of us feel like we don't deserve to have that presence, but we do. It's all different for each and every one of us. I love the quiet lion. I love the person, Gustavo was so quiet and you felt like, oh, he's a thinker, but you never would have imagined at the restaurant, is everything to your satisfaction? Can I get you a refill? You'd never imagine that this guy was the mastermind that he was. So I used my yoga practice to allow space and time, because I couldn't control the lines, but I could control the space in between the lines. And it taught me a different style of working, because it gave me time to do what I'm doing right now. To really take you in. I can feel your energy. I can see it. We're connected. But we don't allow ourselves in our lives time to do that. Settle down. Take the time to share who you really are with other people. And they will react to you differently.
Right. Absolutely great. I don't think we've ever had this many applause breaks at Comic-Con. It's great. We're going to swing round, don't worry, yeah. It's so interesting when you talk about that as well, because your energy it's fizzing when you're next to you. You can feel your energy. But yeah, on screen, when you do someone like Gus or even Moff Gideon, it's so...
There's a lot that goes on the screen, There's not only an inanimate object in front of you, there's also like this, right? You can hear our little space here, but then you hear all those people who aren't paying a lick of attention to any of us, right? So that's what's going on in a movie set. Like it's 1,000 things are happening. And then they go, quiet please, roll sound, slated, action. After all this noise, they have to demand people get off their phones, be quiet, and then go now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like crazy. So I just get into a space that is my own circle, because what I'm doing over here is different than what's going on over there.
Right.
Hey, hi, sorry for my English. So first of all, I want to say hi from my brother-in-law who's over there, Jamel, who's a huge fan of you. Just to know for the future, do you want to stay the villain, or do you want more role of good guys?
Yeah, do you want to stay playing a lot more villains, or do you now want to go over to the good side?
I want to play everything. I always want to be in my own defense. I get so defensive because I'm so human. And name all the movies I've done in the last 2 years, which have been good guys. But I could name a few for you because I want people to know that I'm versatile. Yeah, I'm good at playing villains, and I know Marco has shared that I played the penultimate villain in Gustavo Fring, but there's another penultimate villain coming for me, and I know that. But I want to play good guys, because you see this spirit that you're seeing now, that is part of who I really am. The spirit that you see in Gustavo Fring, that is also a big part of who I am. So I feel like we as human beings are accepted if we're only in the light, right? Yet we emulate politicians who are not in the light. So it makes me think, as I develop Gustavo Fring and Moff Gideon, that people want to be told what to do. They'll do whatever you tell them. And so then we get taken advantage of. But why don't people stand up for other people, right? So I want to play someone who is a champion of human beings, who leads the revolution for a good reason, not for his own ego or her own ego, but for the greater good of everyone. Because you see, this is a horrible thought in a way, but when I was young, I realized we live and we die alone. We go to our maker, whether you believe in God and Goddess, which I believe in, equally apparent to me in my life. They're equal. But whatever that end result of your life is, there's nothing material you can take with you. So why am I here? I'm here to share myself and lift up humanity in a different way. And that's kind of my gift. So I want to play everyone, all different kinds of people. I want to play good guys, bad guys, queer guys, straight guys, queer women, straight women, all of it. Why not? I'm an actor. That's what I love to do. I want to be that thing creeping across the room, that dinosaur. Yeah, I want to play him too.
Did you ever have that moment when you were young and you're starting out where you saw something on screen or stage that may spark this for you? Do you have that moment that a lot of actors get?
Absolutely. You know, when I saw the James Bond movies when I was young, Thunderball, you know, back in the 60s, I wanted to be in that movie. I wanted to be James Bond because I likened myself to having that kind of grace and refinement. And I loved the world that he operated in, but he did whatever the hell he wanted. And I went, I want to do whatever the hell I want too. You know, I want all of that, but he was good at what he did, right? He could get, you know, people want to follow someone they can trust. The guy, you know, if you're in a situation, he can take, you know, a phone and turn it into a screwdriver. He can open any door. He can drive any car. He can drive a plane. I want to be with that person.
That's
right?
what you're training for, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm training for.
Yeah.
So
also, I think we should put it out there that you are going to be the next Bond.
yeah, well,
I
let's
think
put
we
it out
just
there.
need to start spreading that rumor. If anyone wants to tweet that now,
Let's do it.
Comic-Con exclusive.
We've got a question over here. Yeah, we'll get down. We'll come down.
Dear Giancarlo, is there anything in your life that you did regret you didn't dare to do?
Oh my goodness, you asked these life questions.
Good question.
You invited this.
I sure did. I always, I love architecture. I went to the Victor Horta house here, and I just found his work to be genius. So I want to buy that house and come and live in Brussels there. I love archaeology. I'm a real big lover of history. So in part of me is I have disappointment that I didn't pursue that, because I feel like archaeology, to me, to learn about ancient worlds informs us to where we come from, would have been something I would have really been good at. And then I like chiropractic, natural medicine, and I kind of wish I had done that because I like to help people. And I want people to know that they can change their situation physically if they learn about their malady, if they have one, and they can live naturally and cure themselves of any disease between their working with herbs and working with their mind. I think that we use very little bit of ourselves. I think we've allowed ourselves in a way to live flat-footed on the earth, where we are extraordinary. I used to think that people were ordinary. It's not so. People are ordinary, morphing, changing, rising into the extraordinary. I have a show on AMC, I'll give you a big plug, that I produced about an everyman, a driver. And it exemplifies part of my life, because it's about a guy who has 2 kids and a mortgage. His family is, his relationship is going awry, and his life is all the way down. And he takes a job with a criminal he thinks as just a driver. He has skill, he's a good driver. He was a cab driver, a black car driver. And he gets into trouble and he has to get out. My story is important to me because I wanted to tell the story of an everyman and every woman. So that when you as an audience look at it, it's like that could be any of you. So that you have an example of someone in film or TV, in our fantasy world that we live in, that you can change your circumstance. So why do I come to Comic-Cons? I like to speak to people, but I come because I see that people are in wonder, enchantment, joy, and imagination, right? I come because I see people being free. Like Spider-Man over there, Spider-Woman, whoever the hell you are, yeah, right? You're being free. We can't, I have to remember to be a child again. I have to remember that life is fun. I have to remember that it's not all so serious. So I come to Comic-Cons because it reminds me that we can be in wonder, enchantment, joy, and imagination.
We're thankful for that too.
Great. Yeah, we got a question down here. We've probably got time for about
Two more.
two more, I'd say.
Thank you for being here and really glad to see you. I was wondering, you play really different roles, like in video game, like Far Cry, or in Blade Runner and anime, or different TV show and things like this. How do you approach it as an actor, and how did you enjoy the different experiences?
Great question. Far Cry was a really great experience. I had a meeting with them. I felt like they wanted me to be Gustavo Fring. I almost said no because I didn't want to keep repeating that character. I met with them. I had been to Cuba, and when Castro was alive, and I was really fascinated by the story of a dictator. It was a whole new experience because I had no clothes on. You do everything naked. No, you do everything in a green suit, right? And I had a helmet on with 3 lights in my face right here, and a camera right here, and a belt with batteries. And so I was acting in a very weird circumstance, in a room like this, with the lights were all cameras. There were 100 cameras in the room. So everything is taking my picture and my facial expression to then take it and make me into a cartoon. It was the weirdest thing ever. But it reminded me of being in the theater again. There was no furniture. Like if there was furniture, it was green. And I would have to act through all this and make a connection to my acting and scene partner. And it was an amazing experience. I did it because I wasn't used to that technology. And people think that maybe in the future, I will be a hologram. Look at Mandalorian. The first time you see me, I'm a hologram. And that that will be us. I will be as an actor in a library, in a bank. And they can take that bank and they can recreate me in any situation possible. We know what's going on with AI and all that. So that was a great experience. The reason why I'm excited about life is because I have new experiences, even as an actor, every time to welcome. And so it makes me happy and excited.
Incredible. We've got time for one last question. You've had your hand up for ages. So yeah, go for it.
Hello, so nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in Belgium. So I have 2 questions. The first one is about Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So if Los Polos Hermanos wasn't selling chicken, what would it be? And question 2, do you like Belgian food?
So if Los Pollos Hermanos wasn't selling my chicken, it would be Frites and waffles. I hear frites are really big here and I can make a lot of money.
Frings Fritz.
Yeah. I haven't had a lot of Belgian food, but I do love frites, and waffles kind of make me, they're too sweet. So I want to be pithy with my answer to make you all laugh, but there is a place I went to yesterday that I really love, Les Botanistes restaurant, and it's vegan food that's really delicious. Look, I like bacon and I like sausage, so maybe it would be, I don't know what you call sausage here. Saucisson? No? Saucisse? Yeah, so maybe it's that. I was afraid to eat one at breakfast this morning because they're really kind of white and tan, and I was afraid to try it, but maybe next time. Hey, listen, you guys have been really, really, really wonderful, and I love being in Belgium. This is my second time coming here. I was here many years ago with my buddy Bart Couture. Raise your hand, Bart. He's filming everything. He's a wonderful human being, but also a journalist, and among many other things, and a farmer, and all that. And so it's been many years since I've been here, but it's really great to come back to really experience the love and enchantment and excitement of all the Belgian people, so thank you.
Absolutely incredible.
I think this has been very apt, being a Sunday morning. I do feel like I've just been to church, and I've loved every minute of it. I think before we say goodbye, I think it would feel apt if you were to stand, if everyone could say, I am, I will, I can, with you. I think it'd be a lovely way to finish.
I love it. Okay, here we go. I am. I will, I can. One more time. I am, I will, I can. Be empowered. We love you.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Keep going till he's gone, man. He deserves all the applause for it.